Hello and welcome to German Cooking. Today I show you how to make these lovely pretzels. So it's October, it's Oktoberfest time, and it's a perfect time to make those pretzels. And from the same dough as the pretzels I made some buns and I made some bites as well. So I show you how to make those and hope you enjoy it. I have my dough over here, which I got out of the machine, and you put the flour, the salt, the yeast and the water in and mix that for 5 minutes on a low speed. Then you mix it another 5 minutes on medium speed, and then you add the lard to it and mix it another 10 minutes on medium speed. So it's a very smooth dough. It's strong, so it's not a soft one. And what I do now is I divide it in 90 gram pieces. That's 100. Okay, that's around about 90 gram. Okay, and now I form my pretzels. So you don't need any flour or anything on your surface. So take a dry surface and shape the pretzels like this. Okay, that's the first one. So you want to have a very thin end of this, and you want a bigger middle part, and a little bit longer. The pretzel is a little bit bigger, so then we take the ends, fold them around, and on top of here give it a small pressure on it. Okay, oops, that's not good enough, doesn't matter. So that could happen, and then I put it a little bit aside so that it can rest, because with the shaping the gluten develops, and that makes it even harder to shape it. And so I put it aside, take another one and come back to that at the end. Okay, so these are the pretzels. I show you another shape where we make the smaller bits and pieces out of, and that's very simple. Of course, all we do over here is this, and we keep it like that. That's it. Take another one of those. Not too thin. Don't want it too thin over here. Okay, that's good. That's this one. And then you saw some of those buns. It's the same dough, it's the same stuff. All I do is over here I form a ball. How I do this is, there are several techniques. You can do it shaping like this, taking it from the end and roll it around, and then you take your hand like this, make a cage out of it, and a little bit of pressure, and get the dough turning around in your hand on the surface. And what comes out is a ball, and at the bottom it looks like that. And you keep it, put it on a sheet of baking paper or something, or things like that. And here's what I created so far. So I will do the rest of the dough, and the next step is to let it rest a little bit. I let it rest and cover it with some foil and some plastic wrap, and let it rest for several hours. Then you can let it rest overnight as well, and on a cool place. It's very important. It needs to stay cool, so we don't want the dough to rise a lot, and so it needs to stay cool. But run about an hour before you start bathing them, then what I will show, we need to get the cover off so that they can develop a skin. It is important that we get a skin on those, but not overnight or for several hours, because then they will be really drying out. So I cover them, and then I take the cover off around about an hour before the next step. The next step is to preheat the oven to around about 180-200 degrees. And while the oven is heating, we prepare the lay. And I have to give here a warning. This is really nasty chemicals, and you need to be careful with those things. So always, when you handle this, wear some gloves and some glasses. Once we bake the pretzels, the lay will be destroyed by the heat in the baking process. But now it is very, very aggressive on your skin and in the eyes and everywhere. So keep that all away from children, and be careful with it. What I have over here is 3 liters of water, and this is sodium hydroxide. You get this in Asia supermarkets or in some online stores where you can buy ingredients for soap making. So be careful with those stuff, and buy only or use only sodium hydroxide that is food grade, that is not flavored or with any other stuff in there. So have a look and be careful. So what we do is, or what I do is, I put that in here very carefully and step a little bit back, because it is immediately starting to react with the water, and it's coming up with some gas out of. Give it a slight stir, but be careful. So it looks a little bit milky at the moment, but that will go away and will be clear as water. It'll take some time. Again, I have to say, be careful with that stuff. It is dangerous. can't repeat that often enough. And give all the spoon and everything a good rinse. Don't leave it somewhere and someone is using it. While this is still dissolving, you can use something else as well. So you can use baking soda and dissolve the baking soda in warm water at 50 or 60 degrees and give your pretzels a bath in that ley then. But the taste is not the same and it's not the original taste. This one over here give it the original touch, but as I said, it is dangerous and you need to be careful with it. So the pretzels are ready for getting a bath, and I put them in here. For about 30 seconds or less, and you see they change a little bit the color, they get a little bit yellowish, and that's exactly right, that's what we want. So we give them a bath over here, and they have been in there for long enough. We take them out, and put them on a baking tray that I lined with baking paper. That's important that you use baking paper, because my experience is they stick on everything, so it's important that you get the paper off from the ground. And I put the buns in there as well. So 4 buns. Well, that's probably enough. So, and then we have our 3 other ones, those ones. Put them in here as well. Okay, I put that aside at the moment. Get the paper in here. I have over here 3 different toppings. Poppy seed, that is sunflower seed, and this is sesame. What I will do is, once they have finished over here, put them in here so that they get a little bit of the more of the lay off. Just let them dry a little bit. What I know now is I just take them and cover them with some seeds. This one put in here. Some that on. And the third one I put on the poppy seed. Poppy seed on top of it. And now I cut them into pieces. these pieces I put in here. Not much space here. Okay, and the third one. Okay, so let's throw this away. For the pretzels, I cut them open over here at the bottom, just around and those I do a deep cut here, like a cross. Really deep. Now I put it in the oven. Ah, no, sorry, I forgot something. Pretzels, they get a little bit of salt. We can put a little bit of salt here as well, just to top that. Okay, good. They bake for around about 10, 12, up to 15 minutes. And yeah, then they are ready. The pretzels and my buns and also my little snacks are ready. I just took them out of the oven. And that are my pretzels.